Queensland fruit fly has become pretty well endemic across all of our dried grape producing regions in northwest Victoria, southwest New South Wales and across into South Australia. By the time you've seen the problem midway through the season, in some senses you've already suffered a great deal of crop loss. So it's best to be on the front foot right from the word go. There are several ways growers can protect their crops, including monitoring to detect the presence and the size of Q-fly populations, trapping, baiting to attract and kill, year-round vineyard floor management and other strategies. Here we're going to break down what a Q-fly control program might look like for you. It's important to know that there are two approaches to trapping and baiting, and the timing, that is when you're going to be doing it, will determine what approach is going to be needed. Male flies are targeted early in the season, the idea being to reduce the breeding population before it gets a chance to rapidly increase as the weather starts to warm up and the developing berries soften sufficiently for fertilised eggs to be laid in them. The approach is known as male annihilation technique, MAT. It involves an attractant for male flies only. The technology comes conveniently pre-packaged as mat cups and only need to be removed from the packet and hung in the vineyard at a rate of around 20 per hectare. That amounts to about every 7th vine in every 9th row, or thereabouts. Mat cups need to be hung in or under the shaded part of the canopy because that's typically where Q-flies prefer to shelter because it's cooler. Mat cups effectively last for several months, but they should be removed prior to the application of any drying emulsion to the vines. Bait spraying does the heavy lifting when Q-fly populations tend to take off in vineyards from around braise on through to harvest. Bait sprays are applied in low volumes to trunks or posts. The bait spray needs to be reapplied every 10 to 14 days because it doesn't last long enough to affect young flies emerging from the soil or grubs developing in berries. But the decision to start baiting is best based on monitoring Q-flies caught in lure traps, which might also contain an insecticide to kill whatever gets in the trap or capture them on a sticky surface. These traps typically use a lure that only attracts male flies, much like the mat cups. Monitoring the number of male flies trapped and killed will give some indication of numbers across the vineyard, where they might be more abundant and where they might be coming from. They are typically coloured yellow for easier spotting. The important point here though is that monitoring traps need to be checked regularly. The presence of a single fly in a single trap is generally considered to be enough to instigate bait spraying. The monitoring needs to be continued even during bait spraying, and that's simply to assess the efficacy, how efficient the bait spraying program has been. There are several things that can be done year round to control Q-fly, including mulching dropped, dried and semi-dried fruit in the vineyard, collecting and mulching fruit off other seasonal fruit trees, especially evergreen trees such as citrus. Monitor Q-fly numbers around buildings and associated vegetation over winter. Keep accurate records of numbers in traps and share those data with neighbours and the industry more broadly. Communicate with your neighbours about your Q-fly bait spraying.